All right, welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. A loaded show on tap for you today. Today's show, by the way, presented to you by our fine folks at Manscaped. It's summertime. You don't want to be that walking forest, so get hooked up with the best men's grooming products by going to manscaped.com/49ers. Enter the promo code 49ers for 20% off and free shipping. We'll tell you more about Manscaped coming up here in just a few moments. We start off today's show with Jimmy Garoppolo, and really we're talking about two quarterbacks today, Jimmy G as well as Trey Lance. According to Albert Breer, he does not believe that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the roster come week one, and he thinks the trade is eventually going to happen in the weeks and months leading up to week one. And if healthy, he could get dealt prior to opening day because first he has to prove to teams that he's healthy enough coming off that rotator cuff surgery that he can throw the football successfully. So Albert Breer saying this, I don't believe the plan right now is to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. San Francisco, for what it's worth, has had an open line of communication with Garoppolo's camp the last few months, and both sides are willing to be flexible to find the best situation for the 30-year-old who's led the Niners to 2 NFC championship games over the last 3 years. And that means if a team's out there wanting to renegotiate the final year of his contract, which has around $25 million on it, not guaranteed, by the way, as part of the trade, the opportunity's there to do it. And other teams know that. The hope here, of course, is that where the Niners' deliberate slow play in March didn't really work out, after the quarterback's delayed decision to have rotator cuff surgery, a similar tack could work here with Garoppolo's shoulder on the mend. Presumably, he could throw for a team in early July to show his progress, and there's potential for latecomers to the quarterback trade table. We'll see if that works out. Now, when you look at the grand scheme of this entire Jimmy Garoppolo timeline, it's never been simple, and it's not heading toward a simple solution. It started off with the Niners moving up to take the future quarterback in Trey Lance, and that was at the time Garoppolo's replacement, and it's inevitable that Trey Lance is going to be the replacement. Then Lance doesn't really play at all his rookie year outside of those 2 starts. Garoppolo leads the Niners to 2 NFC championship games over the last 3 years, and the decision to move on from him, given that success in 2021, was certainly difficult. Then the shoulder surgery threw a wrench into the plans. I think ideally the Niners would have traded Garoppolo right after the year. They would have moved forward with Trey Lance, but they weren't able to do that because Garoppolo, off-injured quarterback, had to get shoulder surgery on his throwing arm. And then there was all that quarterback movement, which also complicated things. And to move on from him because of the injury, because of the drama, because of the fact that there was so much quarterback movement, that didn't make anything easy at all either. And now we're going to a situation where, look, the Niners don't have a lot of leverage. They certainly have limited options. And to trade away Jimmy Garoppolo, the contract situation certainly happens to make things difficult as well. Now, we're only getting started on today's show because I do want to give you some updated Jimmy Garoppolo trade destinations. We'll get to that right around the corner and a whole lot more because Trey Lance's trainer absolutely raving about his progress. And today, in the shadows of Levi Stadium, second day of OTAs, the media is on hand to watch Trey Lance, to look at some of the improvements that have taken place, hopefully. We're unpacking all of that. But first, I want you to get into the comment section right now, and I want to show everybody on the internet that the faithful, a bunch of ride or die. So if you're faithful to the Niners, I want everybody watching right now to get into the comment section and type FTTB. That stands for Faithful to the Bay. That is the hashtag on social media. And if you're faithful to the Niners, type FTTB in the comment section. Over the weekend, I was on that bachelor party. I challenge all of you to beat our previous record here at Chat Sports of one individual commenting on a video 53 times. We had people comment 153 times individually. So really impressive outing for the gang in the comment section over the weekend. How many times can you type FTTB in the comment section? And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel. You see that number down below? 59,434 subscribers. What does that mean? We're a little more than 500 people away from a huge and impressive milestone here on the channel of 60,000 subscribers. So if you want videos every single day on San, Fran, Cisco, then hit that red subscribe button down below. We pivot now to Jimmy Garoppolo landing spots. Which teams, if he were to get dealt prior to week one, could he get traded to? there are three primary teams that I think make the most sense if a Garoppolo trade were to happen. We look at the Seattle Seahawks right now, coming off a 7-10 record a year ago. They moved on from Russell Wilson after they traded him to the Denver Broncos. Right now, two current quarterbacks on the roster who they're going to move forward with, who are going to get snapped. It's going to be a competition between Drew Lock, who they acquired in that Russell Wilson trade, as well as Geno Smith, and they've been pretty lukewarm on Baker Mayfield. So I don't think that they're going to pull the trigger on a Baker Mayfield trade. So the possible scenario there of making a play for Garoppolo, I think, does still exist. The downside for the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo would play for a fierce rival, and some of their worst fears could ring true if Garoppolo goes there and Seattle still has a lot of success after all of the success that they've had over San Francisco over the last several years. Landing spot number 2. Let's take a look at the Carolina Panthers here. Current quarterback options, Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, who they drafted out of Ole Miss, as well as P.J. Walker. There is a lot of pressure right now on current head coach Matt Rhule to win in the immediacy of the moment. A lot of reports out there that Carolina, led by David Tepper, their new owner, a Wall Street guy who's very, very aggressive, could make a play for guess who? Sean Payton, if this year doesn't work out for Matt Rhule and Carolina. And if the Panthers want to win right now, Jimmy Garoppolo has shown he can win a lot of games, won about 70% of his starts throughout his time with the 49ers. So he could lead them to immediate wins to take some of the pressure off of Matt Rhule and get them back on the winning track. Lastly, the Houston Texans. Now, current quarterback option is Davis Mills. I'm not worried about anybody else on this roster. They want to see if now the sophomore quarterback can prove to be the future signal caller. And if not, maybe they go quarterback in the 2022 NFL draft. If not, maybe they make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. The current regime knows him. General manager Nick Caserio, formerly of the New England Patriots, was there when Garoppolo was there and was part of the movement to draft him in the second round back several years ago. The downside here is that Garoppolo has that cap hit of almost $27 million, and the Houston Texans have 25% of their salary cap tied to dead money. That right there goes to show you this is a rebuilding franchise coming off that 4-13 record, but if they want to get back on the winning track as well, maybe they go after a proven veteran in Garoppolo who that front office knows very well. Coming up next on the show, we know that Trey Lance has been grinding all throughout this offseason because he has a great opportunity at his fingertips to be the franchise quarterback that the Niners had envisioned when they moved up to number 3 to take him. And Trey Lance's trainer, Adam Dedeaux, raving about his progress. But first, I have another question for the audience. Where is the best destination for Jimmy G among the 3 teams that we just broke down? SEA for the Seahawks, CAR for the Carolina Panthers, HOU for the Houston Texans. I'm fielding all of your responses right now in the comment section. Now, when I evaluate Trey Lance, I think he has the ultra-premium collection and the ultra-premium asset of talent because he has the arm strength, the mobility. He has the character that is necessary to become a future franchise quarterback. If you want to get hooked up with the ultra-premium collection from Manscaped and be like Trey Lance, looking clean, hey, you can do so right now by plugging in that link, manscaped.com/49ers, and the promo code 49ers for 20% off and free shipping. Now, I talk about Trey Lance having all of these attributes to his game. The Ultra Premium Collection has all of the necessary products for you to be looking great with warm weather here, spending a lot of time by the pool. In the Ultra Premium Collection, 5 products for a grand total of $39.99. Body wash, shampoo and conditioner, body spray, deodorant that sometimes I have to use here at Chat Sports because some of my hot takes, they make me sweat, which leads to BO. Chapstick also available in the package. Put that link in the comment section in the description for you. It's manscaped.com/49ers. So as I talked about, Trey Lance throughout this offseason, he's been grinding, he's been hustling, he's been putting in that work, trying to fine-tune those mechanics, working with Adam Dedeaux of 3DQB in Orange County, California. And a lot of Kyle Shanahan's quarterbacks have worked with Dedeaux throughout the offseason to fine-tune their skills and tinker with some of their throwing motions and do the necessary things to allow them to have a really good season. And that's what Trey Lance has to do because the pressure is certainly going to be on him for a team that's ready to compete for a Super Bowl right now with elite players on both sides of the ball and Kyle Shanahan calling the plays in his headset. So Dedeaux in an article by Matt Barrows of The Athletic, was asked about Trey Lance's progress and said that he has made some really, really impressive strides and said some things that we know about Trey Lance. He loves the work. We know the offense. We know what Kyle Shanahan wants to do, started off by saying. We use the same workouts, the same verbiage. Everything is tailored to Trey Lance. When he works out with us, he's working solo. So there's no distraction from other quarterbacks or other systems. It's very specifically Kyle's 49ers offense. And here's where it gets awesome. I can't speak any more highly about how Trey Lance approaches the work. He works his tail off and he wants to learn. He is totally coachable. He's done everything that we've asked of him. And now this week is the first really installment of this offseason for Trey Lance as the 49ers quarterback. We know this by now, that Jimmy Garoppolo is injured. He's not going to be able to throw until July. So it's a wonderful opportunity for Trey Lance, who's a little bit green, a little bit inexperienced. He needs some work. He needs to fine-tune those mechanics to get the necessary reps for him to become comfortable going into 2022. And he gets all the reps starting this week. San Francisco 49ers had tweeted out a video of him taking the practice field, handing the football off, and slinging it as well. He looked good in the very short amount of time that I saw him on some video clips, but the media on hand on Tuesday to get an opportunity to see some of the steps, hopefully, that Lance has been able to make from year one to year two. And this is really the first moment of the offseason where Lance has the pressure on him to succeed and show off some of those necessary improvements so that he can be a very good quarterback in this league. You know what's also interesting? That Trey Lance is getting more MVP bets placed on him than Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen combined. Now that goes to the value there, but a lot of people believe that Trey Lance can be a very good quarterback in this league and really burst onto the scene this year in year two, kind of like what Patrick Mahomes was able to do in year two. And Trey Lance had 2 starts his rookie year. Patrick Mahomes only had 1 his rookie year. Interested to see how Lance looks throughout this week during OTAs. At the end of the week, we'll do a winners and losers segment as well. Hopefully Lance is on the right side, on that winner's side. Another note from OTAs, no Deebo Samuel. And that came as expected because his contract situation has not been solved yet. So this is actually going to be a good sign for Danny Gray. Without Deebo Samuel partaking in OTAs, it's going to be Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and Danny Gray as the top 3 wide receivers, and we're going to get to see that blazing speed on hand as well. The rookie getting some very good reps early on to get him ready for his debut season in the National Football League in a Niners uniform. Before I give some shout-outs to those of you who followed the call last week, and you gave me shout-outs for watching the show, also a $50 super thanks from a real OG. What is your level of confidence in Trey Lance? Scale it for me in the comment section, 1 to 100. 1, not confident at all. 100, very, very confident in what Lance can do going into year two. So going back to last week, I wasn't able to hit this because I did get sick for a couple of days prior to going on that bachelor party, but on last week's show, I had said, okay, take a screenshot of you watching the 49ers Report, tweet it at me at Chase_Senior, or DM me on Instagram, and a lot of you were able to do that. So shout out to these people on your screen right now: Andrew Naylor, Dave Zobel, Tommy, Bill Chan, Cards for Trade, Niners, and the Soda Man. Appreciate all of you for supporting the show. And also, Rodney Cho is a real one. Back-to-back videos in which he gave us a super thanks of $50. Because of that, I was able to feed everybody here at Chat Sports because of your super thanks. And if you want to donate to the show, you see that heart icon with the $sign right through it. That is the super thanks function, a new function here on YouTube. In advance, do thank all of you for really making everything that we do possible. Thanks so much for watching the show, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.